you guys have enjoyed the few episodes that we have had so far. I hope you guys, I just want to thank you guys actually for the continued support and checking out the videos. I hope you guys are learning, a few things. We've had some great guests on so far, and we have another great guest today, this morning. It's actually the earliest podcast that has ever been shot. And this morning, it's a very special guest. She is very smart, very driven, probably one of the hardest workers I know. And she is my sister, and I'm glad she's here. She has a very cool and interesting background, what she's done in her life so far. And I'm very excited to have her here. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
How are you?
Here. I'm great.
Good morning.
Great. Good morning.
So, how's your trip to Florida been? Been here for a week?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm ending the trip today, sadly, and going back home. But it's been good. We did some great kayaking yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't get to see any like big fish or anything like that, but
hey, I honestly didn't want to see any fins popping out. I would have jumped out of my kayak.
I'm not joking though. I didn't want to scare you too much, but there is actually, like in Tampa Bay, it's either 20 feet or 20 meters. I want to say it's 20 feet though, because 20 meters is a lot, but they say within Tampa Bay, you're always within 20 feet of a shark.
Like the small ones, or like the tigers, or the great white?
Like small, well, it depends where you are, but like in the flats, we most likely there was a bonnet head around us at one point.
Yeah,
or multiple.
They're not the killer ones, right?
No, they're just 3 to 5 feet.
Oh, that's still scary to me.
Nothing vicious. But
all right.
That was fun. So thanks for coming on. And so lately you've been on like this insane workout grind, 75-day hard, and at least that's what you've told me and the family. And how's that been?
Yeah, so it's been good. I started 75 hard back in June of this year. So heck, almost 5 months ago. Time flies by. I completed the 75 hard, program on August 22nd. Took a few days off, and then completed the first phase of the Live Hard program.
Nice. Yeah. So for those, that's incredible. And the Live Hard is the phase 1.
So the Live Hard program includes the 75 Hard program, which is the boot camp for the rest of the program. And then Live Hard is the 75 Hard, and then 3 additional 30-day phases.
Okay.
And you have to, if you're going to do the full Live Hard program, you have to complete it within 1 calendar year. So I believe it's 100. I don't do math well, but it's either 156 or 157 days out of 365.
Nice.
So it's not like you're on 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You could be if you wanted to be.
I didn't know, because I've heard about the 75 hard before. I guess around the same time you started doing it, I started hearing different people talking about it. I don't think a lot of people know that that's just the beginning phase.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people just say, "Oh, I did the 75 hard," and like that's it. But you're going on.
Yeah. So I told myself, because they add additional, well, not they, the Andy Frisella, who created the program, adds additional tasks in phase 1 and phase 3, and takes them away in phase 2. So there are additional tasks during the program, and one of which is a 5-minute cold shower.
Nice.
Which I was like, this is going to be really difficult. But I actually enjoyed that aspect. But the third phase, which is the last phase, I'll do May 7th to June 7th next year. One of the tasks in that includes talking to a stranger, having a conversation with a stranger every day for 30 days.
Every day.
Every day for 30 days.
That's interesting.
I think that's going to be the hardest aspect. I think everything else in the program, things are difficult to continue doing for a prolonged amount of time, unless you really buy in. But the talking to the stranger is the part that is going to be really challenging for me.
That would be challenging, but you'll be able to, like, after that, I feel like you'd be able to read anyone and basically talk to anyone. I knew
Yeah.
I knew someone in Knoxville that he did that because he's owns his own companies and he's been in sales, but at a younger age he didn't really have any social skills, and he just made him, like, he went to Walmart like every day for like 60 days,
Yeah.
and like literally would approach people in Walmart, and he was telling me
Yeah.
about it. And I'm like, dude, you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's like, I can talk to anyone now. I was
Yeah.
like, that's one way to do it. So that's pretty cool that you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Don't want to go on. Don't want to rant too much myself, but can you explain to us what 75 hard is? What a daily, in your daily routine, what that looks like?
Yeah.
And how that kind of shaped and changed your life for the past 6 months and going forward.
Yeah, for sure. So, 75 Hard has 5 main concepts, 5 staple concepts, and it's like the name. So it is 75 straight days. You're not taking a break on weekends or when you're tired or when you don't feel like doing it. It's straight through. And the 5 principles of it are: you have to pick a healthy diet. It doesn't have to be like one specific outline diet that is pre-selected by the program, but you have to pick something healthy of your choosing and you have to stick to it. So there's no cheat meals during the 75 days, and there's absolutely no alcohol. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to drink a minimum of 1 gallon of water a day. The third thing is you have to take a progress picture each day for 75 days. The fourth thing is you must do 2 workouts per day. They both must be 45 minutes apiece. One of them has to be outside in the elements. So can't do it in a garage or, if there's some type of roof over your head, it has to be outside.
Yeah, no
matter
bitch shit.
what.
Excuse my language.
No inner bitch
We're sweating
boys
out here.
shit. Yeah, sweating, getting rained on, whatever. Like snowed on, whatever. Obviously, if there's a hurricane or a tornado, probably just own it, say you failed, and like start the program over the next day. So 2 workouts. It's scalable. So like if you're not in a very fit physical being at the time, like you could take 2 walks a day. You could do yoga, like you could do band work, but have
So it's
to do one
flexible.
outside. Yeah, it's
It's
flexible.
flexible.
It's scalable. It's
Yep.
scalable to your level of fitness. And then the last thing is you have to read 10 pages of a book each day. So can't be an audiobook, like you actually have to have a paperback or hardcover. And the book either needs to be personal development or straight nonfiction. So
Nice.
you can't do any 50 Shades of Grey. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't be a little baby about it and read fiction.
Yeah.
So
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's yeah. I think we were talking about how how life-changing that program is, and like really you gotta stick to it. And what did that process look like for you? Like what struck out the most for you that you wanted to commit to something like this? Gosh, I can't speak. Holy shit, I'm gonna have to cut this last 2 minutes. What made you want to do the 75 hard, and like what motivated you to stick to that daily routine for the last, for that first, after 2 weeks? Because a lot of people do things for 2 weeks and they kind of get burnt out.
Yeah.
And,
So I'll say the first thing that got me wanting to do the program was in the year 2020, I put on 8 or 9 pounds, which really doesn't sound like a lot to most people, but during the height of the pandemic, I found myself like working out, but then eating and drinking probably overpowered my workouts, and I was mentally going about my workouts and my health the wrong way. I was like, well, if I work out, I can eat and drink what I want. So that unhealthy mindset and that feeling of guilt and weakness after I would, eat or drink like unhealthily, and not put good things in my body, like I would feel bad about it the next day. And so that weight gain was what initially prompted me to put myself in a better mental and physical state during 75 hard. But you know, when I listened to the podcast, Real AF, that who Andy created the program, he said a couple of really important things that really stuck with me. He said, first off, if you wait for the perfect time to do this program, to start this program, you're never going to do it because there's never going to be a perfect time. And he mentioned, like, I went to Vegas 3 times, you know, during my first time of this program. And I was like,
I wonder what he must have just been speaking or something.
yeah, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, he's a great speaker, like great speaker, great businessman. But so that stuck with me because I started it during the summer, which I guess for a lot of people is a really bad time to start something like fitness wise, because they like to drink with their friends during the summer. But I was like, well, I've got trips coming up, but you know, if other people can do it with trips coming up, so can I. Like, I can do it. So that stuck with me. And then he also said, you know, if you fail this program, you're not failing your friends, you're not failing your family, your spouse, whoever. You're only failing yourself. And I was just like, well, I have tried other fitness programs in the past. And, you know, after a week, like, I will fail out of my progress pictures I have in the past. And I feel really bad about it that I didn't follow through. And so this time, I went into it with the mindset of, oh, this is going to be a physical fitness challenge. But it is a...
Did you find it to be more mental?
Yeah, it is a mental toughness program. It's a program to make your brain mentally tough. And,
I know. I see your Instagram posts on your stories and stuff like that, and like you've been posting some real tough shit lately, and a lot of David Goggins, a lot of motivational stuff like that. So it's great to see. And
anything that those Navy SEALs put out, those, you know, former Navy SEALs, I eat that shit up. Like Ray Cashcare, David Goggins, like any Navy SEAL shit. Like, oh man, I have the utmost respect for those guys for sure.
Yeah, no, that's super cool.
I love it.
They have such hard, you know, just mentalities and being able to focus on those things and just get things done without, you know, basically that's their only option to do these certain things and like work out and serve and whatever, you know, whatever they're doing in their daily life, they hit it with full force. But I think it's really cool how you stuck to the program because, and like you said about, you know, you don't really have, you're doing it for yourself. You don't have anybody that is holding you accountable. You know, a lot of people go out and get fit, you know, personal fitness trainers, and that kind of holds them for a sense of accountability. Yeah. Like, hey, I need to show up here on time every Saturday, whatever it is. And they kind of build this, you know, there's some sort of level of, you know, I need to be here, I need to do this. And it's like, you need to prove to them that you're doing it, and like, rather than for yourself. And because, you know, at the end of the day, if someone quits from their, you know, training routine, it's their trainer that they feel like maybe like they're going to be looked down upon or whatever. And you're holding yourself accountable all the way through every single day. So that's super cool. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm super excited for you. And you said the third, you're on the second, you just completed the first phase, right?
So I completed the first phase, on September 26th. Yeah, it was my last day. So nice. One of the rules of the program is after you finish first phase, you must wait 30 days minimum before you do second phase. So I mean, I'm not eligible to start second phase until October 26th, but I wanted to split up my program, my Live Hard program. So I did 75 hard in first phase during the calendar year of 2021, and I'm gonna start second phase on January 1st of 2022 and go until February 1st. And then the third phase, the requirement for beginning that is you must begin that phase exactly 30 days before your anniversary of when you started 75 hard.
Nice.
So I'm not eligible to start third phase until May 7th.
So you got some time.
Yeah. So, but obviously what I choose to do when I'm not on a phase is what I've been doing this past month while I haven't been on a phase is I think I've only taken 2 days off completely. But otherwise, I've been doing at least one workout a day, and that's typically an hour plus. I do a longer one than 45. I've still been drinking my gallon of water each day because, I mean, I just feel amazing doing that.
Yeah.
And I've kind of
it's the key to life.
Yeah. I mean, water is life. But I've kind of gotten kind of bad about my reading. That's been hit or miss, but when I don't do my reading, like, I feel unclean, which is weird to say. But I've been pretty much sticking to my same diet as well. Like, I'll probably do, like, I have been doing about one cheat meal a week. But
which is good too. I think it's,
yeah.
People need that. People need that. It's good for them.
Yeah. So I've been trying to live a similar way, not 100% like I do on a phase or on 75 hard, but pretty darn close.
Yeah. So I have one question for you. You said you got to work out twice a week.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. I'm sorry. How has it been to, work out in the morning? I don't work out in the morning. I work out in the evening. How do you feel, obviously waking up super early and knocking something out, and how does that affect your day?
Yeah, so I pretty much every day, except for the weekends, Monday through Friday, I'm getting up and working out in the morning, and usually my alarm goes off between 4:30 and 5, so that way I can get to the gym, work out for an hour plus, and then come back and like freshen up and work. But I will say that jump starting my morning with a workout, I am a morning person. I like getting up when nobody else is up yet.
It's quiet.
It's peaceful to me. I enjoy it, and if I don't work out in the morning, I feel like I missed something. And when I start, my 8 to 5 job Monday through Friday, I feel sloppy and like I can't give my team members or my customers my best.
Yeah.
So like mentally and physically, like I just got to get that work in.
No, that's awesome. That's super cool. I think I might implement that in the near future.
Yeah.
I've wanted to have a wide variety of guests on my podcast, and I want to have people on that have unique hobbies and they like to do different things. And for those that don't know, my sister was a NCAA collegiate equestrian rider. If you don't know what equestrian is, look it the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding. Horseback riding. And you did Western and reining. Did you didn't do any English in?
No, in college I didn't do any I think it's called jumper seat or hunter seat.
So you did.
They call it
you showed horses in college. What college you go to?
I went to University of Tennessee at Martin. So it's not, the traffic cone orange.
Yeah, it's not
that one. It's the dark blue and like just kind of like faded orange Skyhawks.
Nice.
So not a real bird, but
sounds cool.
They got like a little, flight helmet on. So yeah, look them up. They're small. They're in West Tennessee, but they have a NCAA Division I equestrian team.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Good for you. And now you're still doing it. You still ride horses, and you just got a new horse, didn't you? Like last year?
Yeah. So I've owned, this is my second horse in the past 2 years. Unfortunately, I had to, donate my first horse. Just some things kind of weren't quite going my way. So
donate. Yeah. She did not give it to they didn't dispose of the horse, and now your dog's eating it.
She lives a good life. I donated her to my alma mater, so she actually lives.
She's getting ridden
at the college.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to clarify that.
No, she gets ridden like 4 days a week, and when she's not being ridden, she gets turned out and like
Yeah.
eating grass.
So she's happy.
So yeah, so she's fine. It just didn't work out for me. It worked out for her, but not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought a new horse. Took a few months off. Bought a new horse in August of 2020. You know, like who makes?
She's really pretty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop up a picture right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, bought a new horse during the pandemic. Like, who makes a purchase like that during that time? I do.
Yeah, why not?
Because why not?
Yeah.
Like, getting's good for some people, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And you still, how old is she? And what's her name?
She's 3 now. I bought her when she was 2, which 2 years old is like the earliest you can safely ride a horse.
For them?
Yeah, for them.
Yeah.
Their bones are still kind of forming until their end of their 2-year-old, early 3-year-old year. But you can safely ride them at 2. So, yeah, she's cool. I call her Darcy, and her show name, so the name they announce when I compete on her, is Mobster Mentality.
That's badass.
Yeah.
You should like ride out sometime with just like some Tommy guns, just like, yeah, why not? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool name.
Yeah, I heard. I was thinking about Kobe Bryant, you know, and on the radio or something that day they said Mamba Mentality, and I was like, I'm gonna name her Mobster Mentality because her dad's name is HF Mobster. So I was like, I gotta put Mobster.
These are some badass names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's cool. And she's you're training her right now, and you just had a horse show like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. So actually, I had a horse show. It was last weekend.
Nice.
Last weekend. So.
How'd that go?
It was good. I showed her twice. The first day I competed on her, we actually did a better job the first day, but the score was lower. I was like, all right, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
My trainer was a little disappointed. We're like, okay, whatever. But
similar pattern?
I mean, all the patterns are kind of similar. They just have like little changes, little switch ups. But I was like, okay, you know, it's this one judge's opinion. I was like, I got to look at the score sheet, see where I scored like fine and like where I didn't score great. And my horse is young, so she's not perfect at everything. But there was like 2 areas out of 8 that I knew that I could make better the next day. So I was like, I'm going to focus on these 2 areas, making her better in these 2 areas. And the next day, like, we actually had like a little bit worse of a pattern, but the areas I wanted to make better were better. And we actually had a higher score the next day. So I actually got a paycheck on her.
Nice.
Her first money earning paycheck. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then and that classifies the horse, as you were telling me, we were having the conversation, that classifies the horse as like, you know, if you were to breed her, I guess it like looks better and more desirable.
Yeah, so it makes
cool.
the full more desirable because the mom was a money earner. Yeah. And I mean, I didn't win a lot, but it's the start, I think, to a good career.
No, that's, I mean, she's almost 3.
Yeah. Well, she is 3.
She is 3. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I mean, many more years to ride. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Glad you're you've got a hobby like that and you're doing it.
Yeah.
So.
It's an expensive hobby, but you know,
I can imagine.
It's why I work in sales, I guess.
Yeah. Why not?
Can you have this brand label in your podcast?
Yeah, we're not sponsored, so fuck them.
So yes.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they, you know what, Aquafina, if you get pissed off that we're drinking your water, fuck you.
No.
This podcast is by Aquafina. Drink water. Pure water, perfect taste. 16.9 fluid ounces. This is probably not bottled under a mountain, but yeah, it's definitely not. It's purified drinking water. Good stuff, though. For all you drinking water people, put a little bit of salt. They used to say don't put salt in it, but if you're working out, a little workout tip I learned for one of my workout bros, put a little bit of salt, Himalayan salt, in the water, drink it, and then you get like a little bit longer of a pump. But anyways, so Kenzie, you have, grown up, together. You had some medical complications from the time that you were very young until, like, I believe it was 11 years old. And I think I have my views on how that made you who you are today and the things that you do, how hard you work. But do you care to touch on any of those things and talk about that
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how that led you to, become the badass person that you are and not taking no for an answer and basically just doing whatever you want in life and getting things done?
Yeah, for sure. So, when I was a 6 month old baby, I was diagnosed with a health problem called hydrocephalus. Really long word, um, more common than people think, but people don't really know about it. So what it means is, and in my case, I have an arachnoid cyst in the back of my head, and it is right up on a major blood vessel. So it can't be removed surgically. So it's still there, but what the cyst does when there's no intervention is it fills up with intracranial fluid that's supposed to pass through my head and drain like a normal functioning person would have. Well, the cyst will fill up. Well, it used to fill up, it doesn't anymore, but from the age of 6 months, and I had my final surgery at the age of 11. They were trying to figure out what type of shunt system would work in my head
To help drain the fluid?
yeah, to help drain the fluid. And for those who don't know what a shunt it's basically a tubal system that helps intracranial fluid process normally throughout your head, so that way it's not blocked and you're not getting pressure headaches.
And this would, like, that cyst, when it wasn't draining correctly, caused your brain to have intense pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, obviously your brain is filling up with more fluid than it should
Yeah.
have. So you experienced
Yeah.
headaches, migraines,
So
seizures.
I had major pressure headaches when that cyst would get big. Major pressure headaches, and they were headaches where like I literally couldn't do anything that day. They happened about once a week. Um, yeah, once a week. So, and I didn't know what day of the week they were going to come on. They were just random. And when they were there, they were bad. So, when I became of school age, typically I would miss one day of school per week, just be bedridden with pain. And the pressure was really bad. And I'm not quite sure, what aspect of that made me vomit all the time. But during that one day, I couldn't keep fluids down. I couldn't keep food down. And, there were headaches and there were times where the pressure would be so bad that I've had a few seizures. So
It's incredible.
yeah.
And I remember, growing up, I'm 3 years younger than you. Several times the ambulance coming out to our place and not knowing. I didn't really understand what was going on just from, we were young and I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, but it was, I definitely remember it and I can't even imagine what you went through. And, shout out to, the doctor after many years. I don't know if we should say his name or not, but Dr. Reeves was, ultimately saved your life. And I'm glad he did. And you'll be able to sit here and.
Yeah. So, him being a specialist in Arizona at the time, he was a great pediatric surgeon. And I guess a little fun fact here is, a lot of people have cysts, up and down their spinal column. Like it's not a rarity to have a cyst there, but where I have my cyst is pretty rare. And at the time when I was growing up, there's only 7 total children in the world who had the exact same case and exact same problem that I had. Not 7 children in the USA, but in the world. So, at the time, most doctors didn't know how to fix the problem, because it was so rare. But
That is it's mind blowing.
yeah, I saw multiple doctors over the year.
The chances.
Yeah, yeah, multiple doctors over the years, and I mean they had the technology they needed, and a couple of them knew what was wrong, but they couldn't or they wouldn't treat it. Um, so I mean, but the doctors wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if it's ego or whether it's insurance money, but they wouldn't come out and say we can or we won't treat this. It was actually a nurse who told my mom, like, hey, this isn't, we're not going to be able to successfully treat this here. You should look into option A and option B.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm definitely thankful for that nurse who, I was young. I don't know who you are, but thank you for telling my mom to essentially leave and go elsewhere.
Telling the Perry family no doesn't really go over too well. Like, really none of us.
Yeah.
You tell us no, we're still going to do it and figure out a way.
Yeah.
But your story is incredibly, like, humbling, and, like, you know, everybody has their own things. Everybody goes through different traumas, whatever that is. But the fact that you experienced such pain for so long, for 8 years, and effectively, limiting your childhood and, like, causing you to have certain restraints, and thank God those are over with, is truly amazing. What you went through, I can't even imagine. But it's made you into the person that you are today. And, when people ask me, like, hey, what's your sister like? I always tell them, I'm like, she is the type of person that if you're speaking some bullshit, she's going to call you out on your bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
She's very sweet. But she's, like, very, like, when she has her mind on something and she's like, I'm going to do it, she's going to fucking do it. And, like, you can't take that from her. And, I've talked to a lot of people about that when they ask, like, hey, what's your sister's like? 'Cause, like, I'm like the goofy kid, like, I mess around and shit, and people know me for, like, my jokes and whatever, and not being so serious. But, like, so we're kind of, like, polar opposite in that side. And you're just, like, you're really focused on certain things, and it's, can you elaborate on, like, where you get your motivation from, and, is it strictly from some of your past, or?
So I think a lot of my discipline does come from my past. It drives me because from a very young age, like, I had teachers in the school system telling me, like, if you're going to miss one day of school per week, you need to be on, a plan for kids who, have medical issues, and, like, a specialized education plan, essentially. I can't remember the name of it. But when I went out to Arizona for my surgeries and all the school that I missed for my treatments, I would be told, hey, you're going to have to be held back a grade. You're not going to be able to progress with the other students. You're going to have to be held back. And even as a young kid, I was like, no, I'm not. Like, fax me the schoolwork. Like, I'll get it done. Even if I'm, not feeling well, I'll get it done. I'll send it back to you. Just grade it as normal. Like, give me the deadlines. When you need it back by, like, treat me the same as literally everybody else, and I'll show you. So, from a young age, I love it when people tell me I can't do something, because then I'm just...
There's that attitude.
I was like, I'll show you. I'll show you.
That's what I was talking about.
So I never got held back in school because I always had my schoolwork faxed in.
Yeah.
And I mean, faxed in, right? No one faxes anymore, but this was, heck, like 15 years ago. People did fax 15 years ago. So, when I got well at 11, I really started my fitness journey like when I was 14 or 15, like close to the time when I was able to drive. But, everybody has physical scars, I think. But for me, like, I was always for me, like in the past and even today, I have some physical scars on my stomach from the surgeries that I had, and they've always made me self-conscious because they're right in the area where, on my stomach, where a lot of people, if they work out properly and maintain proper nutrition, they can have abs showing through. And I've got a lot of scar tissue in that area. So that sounds like a really small thing, but that having those there was like an everyday reminder to me that I didn't always have my health. And so, like, when I got it, like, I better do everything in my power to take care of it. Like, no
that
matter
is
what.
that is so important, what you just said.
Yeah.
To a huge degree in magnitude. I think a lot of people don't take into account until I surely don't. Like, I'm not a good example, but I don't think, just based on what you said, I don't think a lot of people out there really realize what their health is until it's taken from them or it's jeopardized.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
It's truly amazing. But so, kind of moving on here, you do real estate, you're working a sales job. What is life, what does life look for Kenzie?
Yeah.
Look like?
So right now, I've been working in sales, and I have been working at my same job for about 3.5 years. I work for a company that assists truckers, basically helps small trucking companies, owner operators, and some larger companies run their day-to-day business. And I sell fuel cards to truckers and trucking companies. So we partner
Like
with
contracts?
fuel cards that they're like credit cards, but they have diesel discounts.
Okay.
So I mean, they help truckers save money on their diesel, which is such a costly expense. And we have about 2,300 partners across the country.
Wow.
So that's what I do day in and day out. I work off of referrals because I've been there 3.5 years. But I also, when I'm not getting referrals, I cold call and I prospect. Even 3.5 years in, I love prospecting. I don't really get tired of it. And then we do factoring. So we get truckers and trucking companies paid on their freight, same or next day. We do their back office billing, and we get them on the road to their next load. So that way they don't have to, worry about getting paid on that load. We help them with that. We do the processing. And lastly, we have a non-asset freight brokerage. So we have a load board. We move about 25,000 to 30,000 loads a month.
Wow. All throughout the United States?
Yeah, and sometimes into Canada.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we do all that. And not actually, as a matter of fact, but I'm pretty blessed in that in my office, I work in a remote office. I was pretty blessed to come into a job where I work with a lot of financially savvy people, a few of which own rentals and real estate.
Okay.
And so just
got some side hustles.
Yeah, passive income. So through talking with them, starting a few years back, I thought, real estate, I want to know more about that. I might like to do that myself.
Yeah. So. And you and your husband, Jacob, shout out. What's up, boy? You guys own a couple condos, and you guys are expanding.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So it's really funny. June of 2020 is my birthday brunch. I was sitting at brunch with my husband, and I go, I think I want to start getting into real estate and buying rentals, and I want to start this in 5 years. I want to have a 5-year plan to start, not to have 3, 4, or 5, but to start. And at the time, he wasn't really in it, but a couple months later, he was on board, and he was actually footing most of the research. He was
Awesome.
doing a ton of research on it 2 months later. So, essentially, a 5-year plan to buy our first rental turned into getting our first rental on the market 5 months after that initial conversation.
After June.
Yeah, so
That's incredible.
5 years turned into 5 months.
Yeah.
And now a year later, we just put our second rental property on the market. So hopefully that'll get rented out soon. But
Yeah, what's your No, that's cool. What's your I guess what's your strategy? Are you trying to use you trying to build equity with these houses? I mean, obviously you're building equity with these houses. Are you trying to make money every month, or are you more focused on the long game of, getting these houses paid off and then reinvesting that money into, another one? Like what's your goal with that, and how are you
it's a little
transitioning?
It's a little bit of both. The goal is to own 6 to 8 SFRs, which single family residences. We would love to do duplexes or triplexes, but they're very difficult to find, and they are very expensive if you do find them. So we're focusing on the single family for now. But to answer your question, we do want to make a little bit of money each month from each rental. That's harder in the beginning because we do have a property management company. They're great. They handle all the fixes, and they handle the tenants. But one day I do hope to do that myself, and save that percentage that we're paying them. So once we have the 6 to 8, my goal is to become the property manager myself of those properties, after I've built relationships with contractors. So as the years go on, we'll be building equity in the houses, we'll be paying down the loans, and the ultimate goal is to buy and hold the properties for 20 to 30 years. And I slowly want to replace my 8 to 5 job income with the money from these houses, which slow process, but that is the goal.
No, that's awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I want to get into real estate at some point as well, but I got a couple friends that do real estate, and it's truly amazing what you can do with it and what you can do with debt, in a positive way, and a lot of it ties into the real estate market. So that's cool to watch you guys doing that, and you guys have, 2 places in 3 years, 4 years. Is incredible.
Yeah, no, I would say like a year or less. I'm pretty excited, but
no, I mean from the first time I guess the span of now renting out 2 houses has been a relatively short time.
Yeah, it's been going faster than what I had ever imagined.
Fortunately both of your houses are in very upscale, growing, expanding places. So you're not only, the land is increasing too. So you're kind of you're in the best position possible right now, I'd say.
Yeah, the houses are in more affluent areas. Blessed to be able to live in those areas for sure. The houses both bring higher rent, so that's great. Especially living in a state that has no state tax. You as a viewer can figure out which state that could possibly be. It's I think 1 of 3.
Yeah.
But it's been good so far. We've been able to buy in good areas.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I think it's pretty interesting. We were talking, the other day about, passive income and certain things that people learn inside of school and outside of school. And I think you were bringing up you're talking something about how teachers want to build certain people for explain what sorry.
So my thoughts, and not only my thoughts, I'm sure a lot of people's thoughts, are that when you enter the public education system, teachers' jobs are to mold you into a taxpayer in society. Their goal is to, create a box. You're either in the box or you're outside of the box. And if you're outside of the box as an entrepreneur or like a salesperson, because let's face it, when you're going through school, a lot of teachers are like, sales, like that's not a good career, blah blah blah. It is a good career. You just got to find a product and a service that people need and it truly provides value to. And ethically, it's a good sale.
Yeah.
Going through school, educators' jobs is to have you pick a career and then mold you into an employee who's working for somebody else most of the time until you're 65.
Get a dog, get a house, start a family,
Yeah.
save money for college for your kids.
Be in perpetual state of debt.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I never fit into a mold. And I think, if you fit into a mold of doctor, lawyer, teacher, that's great. Like, awesome. Like, if that's the life you want, that's great. But for me, I was like, I don't want to go to school for six to 10 years. I don't want to do that. I don't like school, but I know that, like, for me, I don't know what I want to do. So I probably should go to college because I have 4 years to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
But even in college, I was like, I don't want to do like one thing. The only thing that I knew and that I could tell people is, what do you want to do, Kenzie? And I said, I don't know. I want to make money. I want to make good money. That's all I could ever come up with. I was like, I want to do something ethical, but I want to make good money. And I don't really care, like...
No Breaking Bad type shit?
No, nothing evil like that.
I'm just joking.
But I was like, I want to make money. So I'm open-minded. If you tell me about a career where I can make good money, I'll probably do it because I got to pay for these horses that I like to ride. I got to pay for them. So that led me to a career in sales.
Yeah.
So
no, that's super cool. And not trying to we're not trying to obviously talk bad about, people that have taken the route of getting their master's or going to college for 6 to 8 years or being a lawyer, or the other 2 or 3
main ones,
nurse,
like, yeah,
dental hygienist, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
If that's your passion, good for you. We're not trying to, talk shit about those. We were just trying to, bring up how, a lot of people are molded into this, what should I be doing right now with my time?
Mm.
And I don't think a lot of people are trained to think for their own and do things like the way they want to do them and live the life they want to live it. And I think that's super important. And like, we've been tested the past like year and a half. It's like, what are we going to do as people? Like, especially with like the COVID and like everything that has changed, it's affected my business. It's affected everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's super important to talk about. It's like, I'm not going to be stuck in this same system and like listen and like be controlled in this weird fucked up way.
Yeah.
Of, like, what the new now society is,
Yeah. So I think
the new norm.
Well, I hate to call it the new norm. I mean, we're going to have tough times ahead. I think it's going to get darker before it gets better. But it will get better. And I think that the way that our country gets better than it was before, it starts with the individual, right? You can look at the past 500-600 days. A lot of people have just pulled back. They've said, okay, I'm going to wait till this is over. I'm going to just chill out. I'm going to wait till this is over. So you've seen people that have just regressed or stayed where they're at, which in my opinion, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
The owner of my current company says that, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
If you're not doing something extra today, you're...
Yeah. So a lot of people...
doing?
Yeah, a lot of people have started to eat worse. They've put on weight. They've become depressed. And I'll admit, like, I put on weight. I became depressed last year. But also, like, after I came out of that, I was like, all right, you know what? In every hard time, there's opportunity. There's opportunity for the really tough people. And there's opportunity for growth.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, and
if you want it, and if you're willing to work and take the risks during those times.
Yeah, I mean, We were all pretty much forced to be at home
Mm-hmm.
or cooped up for like a year straight. So
Yeah.
a lot of people use that year to, um, you know, develop great things and become,
Yeah.
really change their lives in that year. And a lot of the great people did that. There's like so many people started new businesses and
They're continuing to.
they're continuing to start new
Yeah.
businesses. And like the crazy thing is like a lot of people don't want to work now because
Yeah.
like this is like a gray area to talk about because people like, it ties in with politics and stuff like that. But like
Yeah.
a lot of people were making more money sitting at home. And,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that every single person should have the right to, live in a house,
Mm-hmm.
not be homeless,
Mm-hmm.
be able to eat every night, like all the basic
Yeah.
needs for a person. I fully believe in.
Yeah.
Like no one should go hungry, no one should starve, no one, whatever that is. But the fact that a lot of these people were taking advantage of the systems
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
that true like we saw a lot of people like this exposed them getting paid like that exposed who they really are. They were like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am settling
Yeah.
for less than
Yeah.
what I think I'm worth because I can sit here on the couch, not do shit,
Yeah.
and get paid for it.
Yeah.
And like people felt good about it. People were
Yeah.
like okay with it. And now it's like, and for the people that started grinding, they're like, fuck this shit. Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna like? Be
Yeah.
paid $500 for the rest of my
A
week
week?
for the rest of my life and
Yeah.
not do anything. Like
Yeah.
this is fucking bullshit. This
Yeah.
is boring. So you saw like a weird, we're seeing a lot of transition with people.
Yeah.
And like business next to me, he can't get people. I was talking to the business owner next to me on Thursday of last week, and he was supposed to have 6 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
All 6 were no shows in one day. All 6.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like people don't want to work, and it's pretty crazy. But sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I wanted to touch.
I think that the people that don't want to work and just want to be paid to stay home, their true colors are showing.
Yeah.
They're showing, and guess what? Like when days do get better, these people are going to be left behind because they didn't do anything to better themselves during this time. They just regressed, and it might be working for them now, but it's not going to be working for them in 10, 15 years down the pipe.
Yep.
They're going to be reliant on their neighbor, on the government, and might be happy now, but that isn't going to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes down to like what some people's purposes. What do they want out of life? What are they okay with? And not to talk down on certain people, but if you're okay with, if you're happy, you know what? I'm not going to comment if you're happy, but if you're not and you complain and think that you deserve certain things based on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to outwork you and fuck you. That's my perspective.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel bad for people that genuinely have the capability,
but don't take advantage.
Of it.
Yeah, I can't. I don't understand the whole being okay with mediocrity. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But hey, I mean, not everybody can be a winner.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, everybody loves to win, right? But I think at the end of the day, your true winners are the people who get in the trenches, of course, and hate to fucking lose. Like it hurts the deepest depths of their soul to lose. They don't just dislike losing, but they fucking hate it. Right?
Yeah.
So like when you fucking hate something, and I'm not condoning hate. I hope that people don't hate very much, but you can hate losing, right? Like, and when you truly
that feeling sucks.
Yeah.
Losing sucks.
It sucks, right?
Yep.
So when you hate it so much, most of the time you're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to not feel that way.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's super important. And like failure is like a big thing and a part of losing. It sucks to fail. It's
at the same time,
but you're learning.
Right.
You're learning how to not fail.
I'm a big believer in you only like truly failed, like no coming out of it if you didn't learn anything from it.
Yeah.
But you got to own
it. Or
if
you gave up when you failed.
Yeah. Or if you gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can learn something out of it, then then a failure is worth it. If you learn something and then you come back at whatever you're doing harder the second time, or the third time, or the 10th time.
No, for sure. So what's and I want to touch back. Something's not sitting well with me. And I know I kind of addressed on it. In no way am I trying to make anybody that is going a certain route in life. We are not trying to, hate on cookie cutter, quote unquote, cookie cutter jobs, whatever that is. If that is your passion, whatever you're doing, that's awesome. Keep doing it. We were just simply wanting to state, like, there's a lot of teachers and colleges that have their own agenda for us as students and not really allow us to be who we are and to expand on what we could be based on, the boxes that we're put in as people and humans in society, and the way certain things persuade outcomes. And so that's not what I'm saying. Follow your passions, follow your dreams. That's what I'm talking about. But what I wanted to ask you, a couple more questions. What are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? You and your husband. Are you gonna have any kids? You're gonna, I've been trying to get you to have some kids because I'm trying to be an uncle. Other than that, but like, what's your 3 to 5 years look like? Short-term goals.
Yeah, so I would say in the next 3 to 5 years, I set a goal for myself, and I put it on my mirror that I look in every day. Got that idea from David Goggins. Can't Hurt Me. Shout out to David Goggins, Dave. But the accountability mirror. Anybody who reads Can't Hurt Me knows what that is. But I put a sticky note on my mirror of I want to have 5 rentals by the end of 2024. That's the goal. But we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so now my goal has moved to 6 or 7.
Nice.
So I would say in the next 3 to 5 years, I'd like to be at 6 or 7 SFR rentals. Once I have those rentals, I'd like to maybe manage a couple of them so I can get my feet wet, that sort of thing. And eventually, I want to be able to manage them all, 6 to 7 on my own. After we complete that phase, Jacob, my husband, actually came up with an idea to complete after that for an Airbnb type of situation, and I won't say like what that idea is right now because I don't want to talk.
Yeah,
about
don't give away your $1 billion idea.
I don't want to talk about an idea before I've done it or am in the process of doing it. But we have an idea for a project after we own our single family rentals. So we'll do that hopefully. And then once I'm more established and say like 10 plus years down the pipe, if I, whether I am or I'm not working an 8 to 5 as much or at all, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I want to spend more time volunteering, whether that be at veteran events or whether that be
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
good for you.
Or like getting a therapy dog and going to hospitals and visiting kids.
Wow.
Right now I'm really only able to donate my money. Like I don't have, I hate to say I don't have time, but
you're doing a lot.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot. I haven't made the time to physically go and volunteer, but I do want to earnestly do that in the years going forward, not just give money, but to donate my time.
That's awesome.
As well. And I want to keep showing the horses as well. I want to be able to do more of that and show at a more prestigious level, in 10 years.
Good for you.
So
that's awesome. Good for you. I'm happy for you. So
thank you.
And I think you were telling me something, but you want to do more podcasts and you want to maybe speak.
Yeah.
Weren't you telling me something like that?
So this is kind of off the cuff goal that probably not a lot of people have, because a lot of people are just, I think public speaking is like the 3rd largest fear in the U.S., I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, a lot of people don't like to publicly speak.
Hate it. But I mean, I compete on the horses, so like I thrive off of going in the competition pen, being the only one in there and having the judges' attention for a full 5 minutes. I love it. Like that just like I love it. It sharpens my mind. Like I love being in front of the spotlight. I love it. Um but one of my other goals is I hope that in the next 15 to 20 years I have a good amount of life experience, a good amount of business experience. I would love to share that with more people, whether that be public speaking, um, doing events, which I really need to figure out how to get into that in the future because I don't know, but I want to do that. And then, I would love to be on more podcasts where it makes sense, but I know that I have to get that life and business experience, but I hope that I can get in front of some other people and like help others with that in the future. So
no, that's awesome. So everything that you've told me a lot of goals where you want to help people, truly selfless, and that's awesome. So
thanks.
yeah, no, that's super cool. What was one, I gotta ask you, final question. As you know, my name is Bite the Bullet Podcast. Well, my podcast name. What has been one instance, two instances, whatever it is, anything in your life where you have bit the bullet and, taken one step forward?
Yeah. So I'm going to give a very recent moment of mine. And that moment was on June 7th of this year. It is when I began the 75 Hard program. I said, you know what? Screw it. Like, it's summer, but I'm going to quit drinking for 75 days. I'm not going to have any cheat meals. I'm going to work out twice a day. I'm going to take this damn project picture every day, progress picture every day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all these things of this 75 Hard program for 75 days. And I'm going to be mentally tough tougher by the end of it. I don't think anyone can be rock solid mentally tough because we're human. We all have weak days, right? But I'm going to have less weak days than I did when I started this. So that was my bite the bullet moment more recently when I decided to do the 75 Hard program. Even though I had 3 or 4 summer trips planned, I was going to be around a lot of different people. I was like, you know what? I can do this program. If I can do this program in any physical setting, then I can do just about anything.
Yeah.
So once I decided to do it, a lot of people do fail out of the program, because they forget to take a picture, a progress picture, or they have a cookie or something, which if you do fail out of the program, like you need to be honest, like you need to just say, I failed, like I didn't read my book or I didn't take the picture and just start over from day one. Like you got to do it. But I told myself, I was like, I'm not going to fail this. Like I don't want to, so I'm not gonna. And, so yeah, that was my most recent bite the bullet moment is, starting 75 Hard, completing it. And then, well into my way on the Live Hard program.
Good for you.
So.
I'm going to say it again, but watching from the outside, you've truly changed your life dramatically, in the way that you live and the way, honestly, your mind works and the way you view certain things, over the past course of the year. And being your brother, it's been super cool and inspiring to me, to watch you do that. And, thank you for sharing that. And I hope everybody that watches today gets a little bit, I think we talked about, several good things, some humbling, experiences or situations as well that, I think people can connect to. I want to thank you for coming on here, and
My pleasure.
yeah, and I hope you had a good time. But I really do want to thank you for sharing all of that, and I think it was a successful podcast. So thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to note that you just gotta, before you hop on this plane, you gotta be like, you just gotta fucking You got to scream something.
Yeah, I gotta say it. Okay. All right, guys, everybody that's viewing this, I gotta tell you, be a critical thinker, okay?
All right.
Be a critical
You heard her.
thinker. Don't be afraid to not do what 70 to 80% of the rest of the population is doing.
Boom.
Do your own research, read your own stuff, do your own thinking, be an individual, don't follow the crowd. That's it.
There you go.
Do what you think is right.
Don't be normal.
Right.
Good.
Be extraordinary. Do what you believe in every situation. Do what's in your heart of hearts that you know is right. And what's right is not for everybody.
Boom. That's liquid, or actually not liquid. That is gold. So, thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Very good. You got to say it with me on 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Bite the bullet.